Thanks for staying tuned to your station, the Africa Independent Television, the window to Africa. And thank you for joining us on Security Watch Africa this hour. It's another beautiful Saturday when we bring you your weekly security and safety information. Welcome to the programs today. My name still remains Patrick Abambu. On the program, we'll bring you reports, and we'll have a brief analysis on the 1 year in office of the service chiefs. How far has it been? Where is still left untouched? But before then, we'll have to bring you some reports. By early this week, our Muslim faithful, our Muslim brothers and sisters celebrated the Feast of Sacrifice, and the Chief of Army Staff visited the troops in the Northeast, where he fed with them and took part in charging them to redouble their efforts. Sit back as we bring you this report by Shirley Daniels.
Since the inception of the leadership of the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taoreed Lagbaja, in the last 1 year, the officers and soldiers of the Nigerian Army have redoubled their efforts to ensure that troubled zones in Nigeria become peaceful. As part of saying thank you to soldiers who are currently serving at the Northeast Joint Task Force Operation Hadinkai, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taoreed Lagbaja, was in Maduguri, Borno State. To commence the day's activity, the Chief of Army Staff commissioned some projects, which includes a newly constructed road, which was handled by the Joint Task Force Operation Hadinkai, led by the Theater Commander, Major General Wahid Shuaib, and the new headquarters for 47 Engineer Brigade.
I, Lieutenant General T.A. Lagbaja, the Chief of Army Staff, hereby commission the newly constructed 1.5 kilometer Major General Y.M. Abubakar Road and the link artery here at the Memalari cantonment this day, the 17th of June 2024, to the glory of God and the benefit of humanity. I, Lieutenant General T.A. Lagbaja, hereby commission the newly constructed headquarters 47 Engineer Brigade here at Memalari Cantonment, Meduguri, this day, the 17th of June, 2024, to the glory of God, the benefit of our troops that will make use of it, and the entire humanity. Thank you very much.
The climax of the day's activity was the Chief of Army Staff meeting with wounded soldiers and other soldiers who are serving in the front line in the Northeast.
As part of his command philosophy, in order to boost the morals of troops, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taoreed Lagbaja, is at the Memalari Cantonment in Maduguri, Borno State, to physically serve the troops who have gallantly fought to make sure that Nigeria is safe.
In his welcome address, the Theater Commander, Major General Wahid Shuaib, who was the chief host, thanked the Chief of Army Staff for coming and for all he has done in the last 1 year to uplift operations in the theater.
I wish to use this opportunity on behalf of the gallant troops of Operation Hadinkai to facilitate with the Chief of Army Staff on attaining one highly productive year in office, which is on 23rd of June 2024. Your presence has not only boosted the morale of the troops, but have gingered them to be more offensive-minded to ensure restoration of peace and normalcy to the entire Northeast region. The Chief of Army Staff, sir, we are sincerely thankful for your concern to the welfare of troops of Operation Hadinkai and promise that having you with us today will further spur us to strive for more successes. We are indebted to your numerous support, which have come with huge benefits to the theater in terms of improved troop confidence, equipment support, and the provision of strategic guidance for operational activities.
The activity of serving food to wounded soldiers, which has become a tradition in the Nigerian Army, was conducted by the Chief of Army Staff.
Let him come back. Let him come and queue. What do you want?
In his goodwill remarks, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taoreed Lagbaja, commended the soldiers and officers for what they have been doing and charged them to continue in serving their father's land.
It has been a year of unquantifiable sacrifice in blood and treasure as we have lost gallant warriors and precious equipment to our ongoing fight against insurgency, terrorism, banditry, secessionist agitations, and oil-related crimes, amongst others. Our troops have displayed uncommon courage and faith in our dear country in the face of grave danger and, like the good soldier that they are, come out victorious for our nation. As we commemorate this feast of sacrifice, I enjoin Nigerian Army personnel and their family members to renew their commitment to personal sacrifice for the growth and development of our great country, Nigeria. Your sacrifices, seen and unseen, are the bedrock of our nation's security and prosperity.
General Lagbaja commended the president for always supporting the Nigerian Army in spite of other competing needs of the country.
I express my heartfelt gratitude to His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Grand Commander, Order of the Federal Republic, President, Commander-in-Chief of our Armed Forces, for his unwavering support and focused leadership. The government deserves our common understanding, support, and unflinching loyalty at this critical period to implement necessary reforms to reset the system and restore the economic prosperity we all yearn for.
After the ceremony, General Lagbaja was asked on the essence of the Salah luncheon with the soldiers. In his response, he said it is a tradition in the Nigerian Army.
This luncheon has become a tradition over the years. It's a way of coming back to say thank you to the troops. It's a way of reflecting on the past year. And it's a way of coming to celebrate the Feast of Sacrifice, which is the Eid al-Kabir with the troops. So it has become a tradition. The leadership at the Army headquarters take time out to come visit the troops, meet, greet, and interact with them. And that is what we have done today. It is to identify with them. It is to thank them for their service to our nation and to salute them for their excellent performance in the just concluded round of operation.
To appreciate the Chief of Army Staff for his presence in the luncheon, the Acting General Officer commanding 7th Division of the Nigerian Army, Brigadier General Abubakar Haruna, was elated in his address to thank the Chief of Army Staff and Mr. President on behalf of officers and soldiers of the theater.
Our deepest gratitude goes to the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Grand Commander of the Order of the Federal Republic, for his political and grand strategic guidance to the Armed Forces of Nigeria. Also, we thank the Chief of Defense Staff and the Service Chiefs for their unwavering support to the Joint Task Force Northeast Operation Hadinkai. The Chief of Army Staff, sir, your presence today for this occasion, despite your busy schedule, underscores the importance you have attached to our operation and our general welfare, as expounded in your command philosophy. Sir, I assure you that the leadership of Operation Hadinkai is doing its best not to disappoint you, as you continue to provide us with all the needed supports.
Shirley Daniels, Security Watch Africa.
Welcome back. Yes, it's a way to go back to the people and say thank you for what you have done. Gallant soldiers indeed. Yes, let's go to the Nigerian Air Force headquarters where Elizabeth Tanko brings us the opening ceremony of the Chief of the Air Staff Conference with his officers, where he appraised also his past 1 year in office. Sit back as we bring you this report.
In the quest to intensify achievements recorded against terrorism, banditry, oil theft, and other criminal activities in the last 12 months, the Nigerian Air Force NAF, under the leadership of the Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar, has re-strategized and adopted new air power measures in line with his command philosophy. Air Marshal Abubakar made this known at the Chief of the Air Staff strategic meeting with branch chiefs, air officers commanding, directors, and the senior leadership cadre of the Nigerian Air Force on Wednesday at the Nigerian Air Force headquarters in Abuja. In his speech, Air Marshal Abubakar stated the purpose of the meeting.
The purpose of this meeting is to look back at our set objectives in line with my command philosophy and key enablers, discuss our performance and achievements as well as mitigating challenges. This meeting will also allow us to directly interact and exchange ideas towards achieving more in the coming year going forward.
The Chief of the Air Staff also reiterated that his command philosophy, with its 5 key enablers, has helped the Nigerian Air Force to effectively achieve its mission and meet national security imperatives within the last year.
Following the pronouncement of my command philosophy with its 5 key enablers within the last year, we have taken various immediate actions and proactive steps to reorganize the Nigerian Air Force to effectively achieve its mission and meet national security imperatives. Nigerian Air Force so far has achieved modest yet significant progress in fighting insurgency, terrorism, banditry, oil theft, and other criminal activities in the country.
Air Marshal Abubakar commended all senior officers present for their hard work and support since his assumption of office. He gave assurance of his commitment to continuous improvement at all levels in the Nigerian Air Force.
I wish to use this opportunity to commend you all for your efforts. I also sincerely thank you for your support over the last 12 months since my assumption of office. Yet, there is so much more to do. The harsh economic realities, the high rate of youth unemployment, increasing inflation, and high multidimensional poverty have further aggravated the security situation in the country. Therefore, it is crucial that we have this leadership meeting to holistically review our performances and actions in the past 12 months in transforming the Nigerian Air Force to effectively meet the air power demands of national security.
Elizabeth Tanko, reporting for Security Watch Africa, Abuja.
Welcome back. Yes, still going back to the Nigerian Army, where the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taoreed Lagbaja, received the 2 Bell helicopters. It's a dream come true because for over 40 years, the officers, trained pilots in the Nigerian Army have been praying to have their own aircraft. Today, they have 2 aircrafts. Sit back as we bring you this report by Shirley Daniels.
Leadership is said to be the arrow that points to the future of any nation or organization. In the last 1 year, the current Chief of Army Staff, Nigerian Army, Lieutenant General Taoreed Lagbaja, has been committed to changing the face of the Nigerian Army. When he assumed duty, he inherited the need to reinvigorate the Nigerian Army Aviation Wing. In the last 1 year, the Chief of Army Staff has personally pursued the realization of this dream. This Thursday in Abuja, the Nigerian Army took delivery of the first batch of new aircrafts. The aircraft Bell UH-1H were formally received by the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taoreed Lagbaja. Receiving the aircraft, the Army Chief noted that a renewed drive to establish the Nigerian Army Aviation Wing was conceived by previous service chiefs.
I must give credit to all the Chief of Army Staff that came after General Minima, from Lieutenant General T.Y. Buratai to Lieutenant General I. Atairu and my predecessor, Lieutenant General Farouk Yaya, their tenacity and drive, along with the collective effort of our military personnel and government officials, have been instrumental in our journey to realizing this dream. The journey, as predicted by the initial dreamers, has not been easy, but here we are today, by the grace of God, realizing our dreams.
The Chief of Army Staff appreciated the forerunners, particularly sister services and the Nigerian Police Force Aviation, for their support and encouragement towards the realization of the Nigerian Army Aviation Wing.
We are new to this business, and as newcomers, we must acknowledge our forerunners, like the Nigerian Air Force, the Nigerian Navy, and the Nigerian Police Force. I particularly thank our sister services for the encouragement and support that we have received from them. And I want to especially thank the Nigerian Police Force Aviation Wing for the support that we have continued to receive even from them, particularly at this moment.
The consultant for the Nigerian Army Aviation, retired Major General Emeka Onwamebu, who is also a trained helicopter pilot, lauded the Nigerian Army for sustaining the vision over the years.
Chief of Army Staff, I want to assure you that your name has been written in gold for operationalizing this that has taken 40 years. This is one of my happiest days to see this come to reality. After wearing the wings as a serving officer, not flying for the Nigerian Army. When I went to South Africa with your pilots, Chief of Army Staff, I retrained myself so I can fly these machines with them. And as I remain the consultant, I will keep flying with these fine officers, and also permit me to mention that this was a historic flight. The pilots with their instructors took off from Grand Air Force Base in Johannesburg on Sunday the 16th and flew through 7 countries to get to this place this evening. When we had a visa challenge in Angola, the pilots elected to sleep on the aircraft just to make sure that they took part in the ferry. You have very fine Army pilots and technicians. And again, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. This is just the beginning of the good things that will come to Nigerian Army, to the Nigerian nation, and to all of us.
The 2 Bell UH-1H helicopters are equipped with advanced sensors and enablers to conduct a range of missions, including reconnaissance, surveillance, rescue logistics, transportation, and medical evacuation. Speaking with Security Watch Africa in an exclusive interview in his office, the Chief of Army Staff spoke on his 1 year in office and his projection after 1 year.
I feel somewhat satisfied with what we have been able to achieve in the past 1 year. We have been able to bring stability to the hitherto volatile parts of Nigeria, especially in the northeast. In the southeast, we have expanded the frontier of stability and kept the irredentist at bay. In the north central, in Kogi, Kwara, Benue, it has been quiet for some time. And that is a testament to how effective the troops have performed in the field. Even in Plateau, where I've been having a back and forth situation, the troops are up and doing, and they're on top of the situation there. And in the northwest, the troops are still pushing, and hopefully we should be able to surmount the security threats in the northwest and across every other parts of the nation. Notwithstanding my satisfaction with what we have achieved in the past 1 year, we are not going to rest on our laurels, and the formations and units have been given the marching order to ensure that they redouble their efforts to bring all the enemies of the nation to their knees and combat every form of security threat and bring about the much desired peace and stability that Nigerians are asking for.
Shirley Daniels, Security Watch Africa, Abuja.
Yes, welcome back. We said congratulations to the service chiefs for 1 year of it. Tomorrow it will be 1 year they stepped into the office and took charge of security in Nigeria. Kudos to them, led by the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Gwambi Musa. Congratulations. Yes, I have joining me via Zoom Chimezi Anyadike, a social commentator, to talk about how he has seen it the last 1 year of the of the various service chiefs, how his assessment about them. Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you, my brother.
Thank you very much, Mr. Patrick. It's an honor and privilege to also be here as well.
All right,
thank you.
Great. 1 year after the appointment of these service chiefs, what would you say?
Yeah, I think it's commendable. It's laudable, the speed of response to security issues and the level of preparedness. Pardon?
No, can you sit back a bit? Your headroom.
Oh, okay.
Better.
Sorry.
Yes.
Okay. My
Okay.
apologies.
Sorry.
Okay, so yeah, I said that it's been very commendable. They've built on the efforts of the last administration, the security plans and processes of and strategies of the last administration. They've built commendably on that, and have been able to develop new strategies and methods to tackle security issues. It's been very commendable, and I think that they've done a great job so far. You know, most of us in Nigeria, we don't remember things how it used to be because of the way things have become. But their speed of response to a lot of security issues right now is highly commendable. And I think that they've done a great job within the past 1 year, even though there's still room for more improvement. But I give them kudos for their performance so far in the last 1 year.
Yeah, like you saw there in our report, the Chief of Army Staff was in Maiduguri to have lunch with the troops there. So also the Chief of Defense Staff visited those in Delta Save, Operation Delta Save in Port Harcourt, where he also felicitated with them. We had the other service chiefs visiting various areas. It's a way to say thank you for what they have done. What do you think Nigeria should also be doing to these troops? Because I look at it as some people who have done well in the last 1 year. What do you think?
I think so far, the efforts of the service chiefs in showing solidarity as well as some sort of soft warfarism by visiting the troops at some of these theaters of conflict it's a very solid method of boosting the morale of the troops. I also think that with the plans of the federal government as part of their manifesto to increase the personnel of our security of the military, the Air Force, the Navy, I think they should increase their efforts as well, so that we would have a whole lot more people manning our security outfits. And I also think that welfare should also be considered, because no matter how patriotic a troop is, if his welfare is not something he's confident in, he will definitely lose interest at some point. He will get demoralized and all of that. And also kudos to the Chief of Army Staff for some of the things he has been able to implement within the last 1 year, especially housing for personnel, and then special form of housing for the troops that have operational disabilities and injuries from the theaters of conflict, and as well as improving the hardware, the military hardware that are deployed in combating some of these, in combating some of these regions, theaters of conflict, the southeast, the secessionalism there, the Delta, oil bunkering, and then the northeast. They've really
Thank you so much for that, Chimeze Anyadike. It's a pleasure having you once again. Sorry we have to leave for that program to continue. Until next week, I say bye for now and remain blessed.